Right, Chishti Mujahid Saab, let's move on now to the ODI series that's going on in South Africa. India are doing absolutely brilliantly. Yes, South Africa have been without AB de Villiers and Faf du Plessis, but really the Indians have been brilliant, particularly their wrist spinners, Yadav and Chahal. The South Africans have failed to pick them, which is why they're in this position.
Yes, I think Yadav is some sort of a variety whom... he's a left-arm Chinaman leg spinner, which is a very rare commodity and who are not found in one-day cricket anywhere else in the world. Remember, the only person who played who bowled that sort of stuff was probably before your time, if you remember Michael Bevan. He was the one who used to bowl the Chinamen and at times the Googlies. And these are a rare commodity, the Chinamen bowlers. Johnny Wardle was one of them. There were a few others in the subcontinent. But usually the first time that spinners were introduced into one-day internationals or the 50-50 matches, in fact, no spinner was played. The West Indians set a pattern where they played 5 pace bowlers, or they played 6 batsmen and a wicket-keeper and 4 pace bowlers plus one of the batsmen could bowl a bit. But Abdul Qadir, I think, was the first one who really came into prominence when he was included in the one-day international side, and then Mushtaq Ahmed from Pakistan, a few others. Shane Warne played that. The leg spinners started coming, but this left-arm wrist spinner. By the way, calling a left-arm finger spinner a left-arm leg spinner is a wrong nomenclature, because a left-arm finger spinner is called a left-arm spinner. And
everybody seems to say it though. I mean, it's so strange. When I first started getting involved in cricket over here, they used to call left-arm orthodox spinners or finger spinners left-arm leg spinners. So I thought maybe I was wrong.
What type of another left-arm spinner is there? Is there a left-arm wrist spinner? There is one. There is a left-arm spinner, but usually the left-arm spinners are left-arm finger spinners. Anyway, let's not get into that, because, right, I'm sure the viewers understand what we mean. But a left-arm Chinaman googly bowler is a rare commodity. I think this will be Yadav, which the Indians have, or they pronounce it Jadu, whatever his name is. He is someone who even de Villiers and the likes of Amla are unable to pick. And the South Africans have been, they've been badly hurt because of the injuries they are carrying. They've got Dale Steyn on the injury list. They've got Quinton de Kock now, and I think de Villiers is also, AB de Villiers is also injured. So the South Africans are not in the full strength. They are playing at home, but I think the Indians are a class apart. I think we should give them credit for it. They've got a great batting side. They've got the good successors. We thought that after Tendulkar and Dravid and Lakshman and Sehwag, India's batting might suffer, but I think they keep producing their successors pretty rapidly, and these successors are even better than those who played earlier on. In fact, so the India at the moment is going very strong, and I think this is the time when India should think in terms of playing against Pakistan, because they stand a good chance of winning against Pakistan, which they have longed to do for a very, very, very long time, and which was the reason why they withdrew from Sharjah for so many years, saying that we don't seem to win in Sharjah. Well, they were being beaten by a better side, which were the Pakistanis at that time. But the Indians in India, I think, is going to make a... How many centuries has this fellow Kohali scored? He scores a century every... he scores 2 centuries a day or something like that at the moment. I mean, I've lost count of it. It's 34 centuries in 205 one-day internationals. It's what, 31, 33 centuries in test matches. Where is he going to stop? Stop. One should call him that. But he's a class apart. If you start comparing him to any batsman in other sides, I think you will be mistaken. And South Africa at the moment are in a bit of a bad shape. They haven't got the pace attack. They've got Philander, they've got Rabada, they've got Ngidi now. But Steyn is being missed. Mokel is not really what he was. And of course they don't have the spinning power. They don't have they don't have an Ashwin. Right. They don't have a Ravindra Jadeja, and they don't have this fellow any answer to Yadav. And so they are in pretty poor shape, South Africa. At the moment, their batting is aging, their batting is weakening. In fact, Amla has failed almost regularly. De Kock was absolute miserable in the test matches. I felt sorry for him because he's such a lovely batsman to watch when he gets going, and he's such a good wicket keeper. And then, of course, Dumini comes in and out. I don't know what his case is. And then you have Bavuma, and you've got Markram, and these are new ones. And I think South Africa still has that quota policy. That's what maybe is what also may be hurting them, that they have to play 6 coloured, 5 whites, or whatever it is. Do they still have that?
The quota system?
Yep.
Yes, the quota system.
Yeah. I believe they still have that to the South Africans. But we've got to leave it at that. Chishti Mujahid Saab, thank you very much for speaking to us.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Why is West not playing in this tournament which is going on these days?
So,
do you want to answer that, Uwais?
Sir, I just had an accident. If you remember, on 3 years back, my cricket career is finished off.
Oh no, we should revive it again. You'll come back. Don't worry.
I need your prayers, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
That was Mr. Chishti Mujahid giving his analysis on Nasser Jamshed being charged by the PCB's anti-corruption unit, and of course the series in South Africa, the ODI series. India are 3-0 up in that series. We're going to continue talking about that with Uwais. I think he's right, Chishti Mujahid sir, because India really are a class apart, and without AB de Villiers and Faf du Plessis and Hashim Amla in bad form, and then of course JP Dumley not really firing, it doesn't look like the strongest South African side. So you've got to give credit to India for playing aggressive, thoughtful cricket.
Ali, one thing I would commit on your show is one thing that I criticized India, saying that if you remember on your show that I said when they travel outside to South Africa, they would struggle a lot over there. They would at least know what cricket is. I mean,
what did I say?
Have been, I know what you said. But Ali, see, they're a class apart, and they have showed that over here, especially Virat Kohli, I would say. And see, it's just not India that he has been performing consistently, like Chishti Saab rightly mentioned, on scoring 31, 32, hundreds. Where is he going to stop? Where is he going to stop up? I mean, he's one of your backbones of the Indian team. The 50% match relies on him, and he has been scoring heavily.
And you know, even if you look at the test matches of West, India lost, but they put up a great fight on difficult pitches. They won on the most difficult pitch. That was the 3rd test match. On difficult pitches, they put up a fight. They were a lot of the times they were in the game, but then they lost it at the very end. They were up against a quality South African attack. Their fast bowling attack in test matches is probably the best in the world. And now in these one-dayers, they're showing the South Africans who's boss.
Ali, I mean, it is definitely. I mean, they have given a good response to South Africa. We were losing the South African series against South Africa in the test matches. They were totally down on, I would say, on, because they lost the test match series. They were on a hype over here. India.
I think they were on a high after they won the last test match on the most difficult, a ridiculous wicket.
Yeah. But the way but still one thing I would just agree with Chishti Saab, that South Africa are hurting upon the main players missing up over here. Definitely when AB de Villiers is playing with you, Du Plessis over here, then you got Hashim Amla isn't in his best forms. You know how dangerous they can be. They have been struggling because of the injuries over here. They have got good players coming up. South Africa, Markram is a good one, but still they're youngsters. In this kind of a situation, they need to sort out that injury problems. I mean, because they have got more 3 matches. If I'm not wrong, it's a 6-match series.
Yeah.
They can be back in this. They can't win this up, but they can at least draw this series. But they can be back.
Mentioned Quinton de Kock's lack of form is really hurting them as well, and now he's missing. And I think injuries have been troubling him quite a lot. Quinton de Kock, he's got a brilliant record. against the Indians, especially in one-day cricket. So I think that's also hurt them.
Ali, he's lovely to watch, and I mean, when he goes on, definitely when he's batting up with Hashim Amla, the way he's a striker. I mean, he goes on to just strike every ball. I mean, he's after the bowlers, and it's really good to watch him up over here. Definitely, it's hurting them because de Kock isn't in his favour. I mean, because he isn't in his good flavours over here. Hashim Amla, the main key batsman for South Africa, one of the world-class batsmen. I rate him up. He isn't in his good flavours over here. That's hurting them up over here. But if you just look at the Indian team, they have got quality batsmen over here. Like Chishti Sahab rightly mentioned on, leave apart Sachin Tendulkar, Virendra Sehwag, the other ones, Rahul Dravid, they are producing more strong cricketers because they have got a strong under-19 cricket, the schooling cricket, then they have got a strong grassroots level, the under-19 cricket. They have got Rahul Dravid with them. You can just watch out the recently won World Cup by the under-19 team. They have got strong competitors who are coming up who can represent India. They haven't got Ashwin, the main leading spinner over here, but Jadhav and the other one, they are not even missing him, I would say, the Ashwin. They have been performing superbly. They have been disturbing the South African batsmen. That's the plus point, I would say. We need to work on the grassroots level. We always complain about the domestic cricket. Why can't we work on the under-19 cricket where you can groom them up for the international standards?
And again, more on India spinners. They've taken, I think, out of 28 wickets, I think the Indians, the spinners have taken 21, which just goes to show that they've been absolutely brilliant. And they've back to the cricket now. We were talking about the India-South Africa series. We still have a couple of minutes left before we move on to our next segment. I was discussing the spinners, Jadhav and Chahal, and they've taken 21 wickets out of the 28 that have been taken, which just goes to show that the South Africans aren't picking them. But it also reveals that they're bowling brilliantly with a great deal of control, other wrist spinners.
I mean, if you just watch the spinning spells, I mean, they have been bowling wicket to wicket. I mean, they have been troubling Hashim Amla or the other batsmen over here. If you just watch out Jadhav especially, he has been consistently trying to just bowl between middle wicket, the middle stump and the off stump. I mean, to the right-hand batsman, he has been troubling them a lot. And that's the thing where the South African batsmen haven't been picking up over here, because definitely he's a new kind of a player for this kind of format, like Chishti Sahab rightly mentioned on. You don't have many left-arm spinners, I mean left-arm orthodox spinners, and he's the Chinaman, I would say, on, and he has been bowling superbly over here, bowling wicket to wicket. And especially when you have a quality team like South Africa, when you don't have a leading spinner Ashwin with you, the whole burden carries by Jadhav and the other bowler, and they have been superbly bowling over here. But believe me, you have got the best mind, I would say, who has been helping them out. That's Mahendra Singh Dhoni. Virat Kohli is something else, but he has been keeping on talking with them. If you just watch out, he has been
spend a lot of time on cricket info, don't you?
Yeah.
You spend a lot.
He has been consistently talking to them. That's the good sign, I would say, and it is because, I mean, see, Virat Kohli is a skipper for you, I know that, but the experience counts on. He's one of the best captain for India in all the formats. Mahendra Singh Dhoni has been, and a great mind, I would say. They have been listening to him. Virat Kohli, whenever they have got any problems, they do listen to him, and he has been serving them a lot.
He's been constantly advising the spinners, advising Virat Kohli, and of course he's played so much cricket. He's captained India in all three formats.
So successful captain.
Yeah, he knows what he's talking about. And Virat Kohli is very lucky to have a guy like MS Dhoni there with him, and he's been tremendous for the Indians. And I'm sure Virat Kohli knows that. He still needs him. And we've discussed the spinners. India's fast bowlers. Bumrah is improving day by day. He got Amla out in Cape Town. Then, of course, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Hardik Pandya, and Jasprit Bumrah, and even Kumar. I mean, not only are they decent up front with a new ball, at the death as well. I mean, I think Jasprit Bumrah is probably the best death bowler in the world today.
Ali, if I'm not wrong, I mean, when you just go a little bit back in the years, I mean, the most plus point for India was the batting lineup, not the bowling lineup. I've never seen a good pace from the Indian bowlers, and they used to struggle even in the middle orders, even in the depth overs. But if this is a totally changed on team, I mean, they have got strong, especially I would applaud one thing, I mean, they have got good paces coming up for the Indian team, and that's the positive point over here. They can easily bowl till 140, 145. Look at the under-19 chap, I mean, the right-handed fast bowler who's almost 140, 144 click, and he's just 17 years of age. They are working on the pace deliveries, and they have been producing a good pace bowlers over here, especially in the depth overs. Bumrah has been brilliant on, even in the ICC Champions Trophy, he was brilliant. Just leave off the no ball scenario, what happened against Pakistan, but The fast bowlers, they were brilliant in the Champions Trophy and they're serving brilliantly over here. India has been producing good fast bowlers and good all-rounds for the national side.
You think the South Africans can make a comeback?
Ali, they need to. I mean, they are one of the strongest team in the world. I know that they have got that bad luck playing in the big matches they lose on, but they are one of the strongest teams. But if they counterattack the injuries, I mean, from their senior players and they're back in the form, you know how dangerous they can be.
Right. We're going to leave it at that. Wes, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you, Ali.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you.